So today I'm sitting here with Gary Kinney, who is playing John J. Wilson, our company agent from the Montero.
The real company agent.
Um, we found out in our last interview that you are also a secret android.
The real secret android.
Um, So for Act 2, your agenda was you must learn more about the xenomorphic materials on board the Cronus. Ask the crew, access the ship's logs, and do anything else you can to learn more about the threat. But be careful not to raise suspicions among the crew and don't expose yourself as an android. How do you think that you did with that?
I think I did 2 out of 3. I did not reveal my synthetic nature. In fact, some of the crew who may have watched the previous interview were surprised to hear that I was an android. And how can an android look so fabulous? Also, what was the second part of that? I did that as well.
Ask the crew, access ship's logs, and do anything else you can to learn about the threat.
No, I didn't do that. Don't raise suspicions. I don't think that I raised suspicions. In fact, I think I quashed suspicions by putting Rye in charge as captain and fostering better interpersonal relations with the crew of the Montero. But I totally skipped over that whole xenomorphic material aspect. I think I was more focused on building the inter-crew relations, building better relations.
Okay. Act 3, maybe a very short act because Act 1 sort of bled into Act 2, and Act 2 sort of bled into Act 3. And now we have a ship spinning out of control. So your agenda, you must stop Wayland Yutani from getting an alien specimen back to Earth at any cost, even if it means murder and suicide. Kill anyone with detailed knowledge about the 26th Draconis strain. Not give Wayland Yutani the information? What?
So, first, I'd like to address the spinning out of control that you mentioned, Mother, because it's a good thing that we are not like these flesh bags, that we can go round and round and not lose our lunch. But yes, while everyone else is getting tossed about, I plan to lock the ship down and crash it into the Montero or the pirate ship, whichever is the closest. Why would I do this, you ask? Because there's so much going on right now, and I don't know if the pirates have the xenomorphic material or if some other force has it, but they cannot have it. I am willing to sacrifice all of us to make sure that it does not escape.
You are belted into a seat. So we're thinking that you're going to have to make a contact to get control and then a piloting check to actually slam into the other seat or into the other ship.
Yes, and a possible elbow to Rye's face if she tries to stop me.
Wow. All right. Poor Rye. Um, is there anything that you'd like to talk about that happened in Act 2?
Not really.
Are we expecting an extremely short Act 3?
I think so. If there was an Act 4, I would say, you get a new character, you get a new character, you get a new character, I get a new character. End of story.
So I guess you're willing to play Alien again then after this.
You tell me when, and my contract will be filled out.
thanks so much for hanging out with me. I know we're about to jump into game, and I still have 2 more interviews to do. So, see you there.
I'll be there, square, tumbling around.
All right. So today I'm here hanging out with Stump King. We're a little late, going from Act 2 to Act 3 in Chariot of the Gods. But let's see. Your agenda for Act 2 was the crew is in danger and the crew is your family. Protect them with your life if need be. How do you think you did with that?
I think I took a very proactive approach with. I can't remember the count, but see, I have now microwaved 1 alien, brought down another one to 0, and I think I survived like what 5 encounters now.
That seems about right.
It's like, fortunately, I am now in attempts to save everybody. I am now on the ship, the original ship, by myself.
You are. And from the original ship, you see the Kronos doing barrel rolls, where they have wrenched away from the pirate ship, the Satillo.
Which, funny enough, on the inside, there would be no difference.
Well, she turned off the artificial gravity.
But yeah, even that, you're in. What if there's no artificial gravity?
Right.
It's like, what? There's no down.
And there is no down, so there's no gravity. But there are things being moved about now because the ship is rotating.
It's like it wouldn't be too much because that's actually how satellites work in real. Like the International Space Station is spinning.
It is, but everything's tied down to that. There's no artificial gravity so everything is permanently tied down. Because they had artificial gravity, things are just kind of like free flowing.
Look, it's more like free floating and it's like in space.
Yeah, so people are holding on to things and trying to knock things away from themselves as, things bounce around inside of this ship. But yeah, how do you feel about Davis? Something came out of him. You weren't even there for that.
Nah, I wasn't there for a lot of that drama in character. It's like I managed to avoid just the drama. Didn't even know. I don't even know about the vaccine or the dangers of not having a spacesuit. I just had my spacesuit on. Was running through dumb luck.
About to plug in my laptop. Do the thing. Yeah, so you are on the Montero, being pulled along behind the Satillo, where there's a pilot in the Satillo that is also watching this spaceship barrel rolling through space. What is your next plan?
I have no idea. It's like, I mean, I would have to see if even the ship is shipworthy. Because last we left it, it was sabotage.
It was. Do you have any idea of who that might have been?
ironically, I could see it being my buddy. Why? Just
Okay.
as out of pure irony. It's
Alright.
like, but I like have no evidence for anything. It's like, but I mean, in terms of number of possible suspects, 2 of them are dead.
Okay. So your Act 3 personal agenda is kind of along the same means. Get all the surviving crew to safety by any means possible.
They're like, creators of the game, you managed to survive all 3 acts with the first act character.
Yeah, do you have any plans moving forward into Act 3 at this point?
No, everything stops derby. All I can think of is figure out see if what's condition the ship, because I'm just a mechanic.
Cool. So is there anything that you would like? So is there anything you'd like to talk about from Act 2?
It's like, I don't know, it was interesting being the chupacabra hunter. It's like, I mean, there's a lot I don't know what's going on, but that doesn't really seem to have impact my character whatsoever.
Cool. All right. And any last words before we head into Act 3 tonight?
Like, cowabunga, dude. So let's see let's roll.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Woo.
So today I'm sitting here with Kai, who is playing Kayla Rye on our Aliens Chariot of the Gods game. And we are going from Act 2 to Act 3. We're a little bit late in our interviews, but hopefully it will make sense here. So for Act 2, search the Chronos for cash or any other valuable items that you might sell back home if you survive. The ship is derelict anyway, right? So how do you feel like you did with that?
Well, I know I attempted to look, but I don't feel like I managed to find anything necessarily that might be really valuable. Things kind of went pretty quick for Act 2, and then with Davis, causing us a bit of issues, the only thing I was really able to manage is his pills, or her pills, which doesn't really matter anymore. So, probably not successful at that this time around, but doesn't mean I'm gonna stop looking.
And how do you feel about Davis succumbing to this weird draconish that has changed him into some kind of alien?
Well, they shouldn't have taken the shot. Clearly, it had gone bad in the last 70 years.
Okay.
Or, probably shouldn't have also taken off his spacesuit, considering the weird things that had been in the air previously. Like, it just seems like a bad idea.
Act 3. Act 3 is strike any deal to get enough money to support yourself and your family for good, no matter what the cost to your soul.
I kind of feel like I've been already working that angle. Managed to get myself into a captain position, managed to convince the older agent from the Kronos originally that if things went crazy, that we'd get out of there with her, monetary items. So, yeah, I'd say I'm on my way to achieving that well. And if things happen that make me have to do a bit more shady stuff, well, I guess that's what's gonna happen. Doesn't seem like a far stretch for me.
So last we left off, you had put the ship into a spin, into a nice tight barrel roll.
Right. But it's not gonna be able to get out of easily. There's no friction to stop it. I had somewhat forgotten about that. Well, if everybody dies, and then I'll definitely be able to get my money's worth.
So I made some rolls between games. You've definitely hurt a lot of the NPCs. You've also hurt an alien or two. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen if somebody needs to take over those NPCs. I may give them back all of their health. We'll see.
It'd just be a challenge. They're playing hard mode there.
So your buddy Cham has already left the Kronos and went back to the Montero that was being hauled behind it by this pirate ship. How do you feel about him getting away from the danger completely on accident again?
Well, clearly he's both dumb and with dumb luck. I don't know. Definitely lucky. I mean, it's a good thing to get the Montero back under proper control, sure, but the rest of us aren't on it. So, hopefully he doesn't just head off to port on his own, I guess. Hey, I'm his buddy. He can't leave me behind.
Can't leave you behind.
Yeah, you can't do that to your friends.
Yeah, so is there anything else you wanted to talk about from that happened in Act 2?
Well, I feel like it's a bit of a curse. Whoever gets put on my list as a rival, they seem to die. So that's a thing.
Oh, do you have a new rival for Act 3?
Yeah, I don't know who that would be. Don't know, Davis's player's new character. Don't know them much, although was confused that they came in as a pirate. Seems like an immediate conflict there. So, there's that. I would have expected them to pick up, one of the other Cronus crew. But, who knows? Maybe they'll be my rival yet again for the sheer fact of them being on our ship and trying to take it. Is not a good thing.
Okay. And going into Act 3, any plans other than keeping the ship spiraling? What's the thought process here?
I forget. Did the steering wheel get broken? Is it stuck permanently in this spiral?
Nope. You just...
No.
And let
Which
it go.
case, hard turn the other way.
All right. Are you looking to ram it into the other ship?
We definitely could. I mean, this thing is kind of broken as is, and yes, it's a good thing. It would be a good thing to bring it back for, the company and all. But if the Montero is operational and no longer about to explode, I don't really care what happens to this one. Can't exactly be paid if you're dead.
That's true. Any final thoughts?
Kind of wondering if it's gonna wind up, just me surviving it from the original crew, or whether or not we're done with the deaths, but something in me doubts that.
Never know what's gonna happen.
Correct. And again, one bad roll instantly ends somebody, so.
Jasmine's character knows that all too well.
Yup.
Poor Miller.
Yeah. So sad.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I have one more review to do, and then we will get to Act 3 tonight.
Sounds good.
So today I'm sitting here with Zanny, who is playing Pin, the mercenary who is attempting to take over the Cronus with his boss, or with her boss, Balaji. How do you think that's going?
Well, I'd say right now we are literally on a roll, but not in a good way.
True. You were able to hang on to the doorframe while this ship has gone into a barrel roll. What's your plan from here now that there are things flying around the science lab and being
I think my current goal is to dodge what I can and basically ride it out, assuming that the ship ever stops spinning. If it doesn't, worst case scenario, I don't think I'm strong enough to, shall we say, pick my way across the ship, especially since gravity seems to be going AWOL.
Yep, she did turn off the gravity. So everything is just free floating.
Right. So between the loss of gravity and the loss of, shall we say, stability, I think I'm in a fine kettle of fish, as they say.
So Davis, your last character.
Rip.
Yeah.
Literally.
Started attacking her crewmates, and then became, or turned into.
In her defense, she didn't technically have a choice.
She didn't have a choice. She became.
Not that Pin would know that.
Yeah, she became enraged with anger. As a player, how do you feel about sort of your agency being taken away at that point and just being like, okay, this is your new goal, hit everyone?
I've dealt with worse, so I wasn't too disappointed. It was one of those where it was like, okay, I'm in this situation now, this is how I play this. So be it.
Okay. Yeah, it's sort of like a berserker axe in D&D, so it's... I feel like we've all been there at one point. So Balaji is your officer. They are heading to find out what happened to Horton. Since you guys can't get him on comms. How do you think he's dealing with this rotating ship conundrum?
I can only speculate. Personally, I'm going to assume. Well, let me rephrase that. Assuming he is in a more stable condition, I'm going to assume he has found a way to secure himself one way or another.
Okay.
Until proven otherwise. If he has, shall we say, met his end, rest in peace. But if not, I will definitely appreciate what help he can offer.
So as a player, you know that Cam has gotten over to the Montero, and is now watching your ship do barrel rolls.
Now the question is, does Pin know that?
Pin does not know that. No.
Okay.
No, I'm just wondering how you feel about Cam once again being in a place or being
Where
out
he's
of
just like,
danger.
I'm gonna sit this one out. Yeah. The irony is not lost on me. Whether he did that intentionally or not, I would assume. I mean, that's up to Stump King.
Yeah, I don't think he could have. I know I definitely did not expect someone to take control and just start doing barrel rolls with the ship.
No. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. If I had known pirates were on my ship, I probably would have done a similar trick myself. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting such a drastic measure that soon.
That's fair. Although it is not surprising that it came from Kai as a player.
Oh, of course not. Chaos Kai, are you kidding?
Yes, definitely loves the chaos.
I even commented on that shortly before the session ended. I even said, and let the chaos ensue. Although, whether I'll edit that out or not in post, I haven't decided yet.
I edit very little. Yeah, so is there anything else going into Act 3 that you're expecting or looking forward to or planning to do?
At this point, I'm pretty much playing it by ear because I am not anticipating surviving this skirmish.
Okay.
If I do, odds are I will be protecting Balaji with my life.
Okay.
If I don't, at the very least, I hope that I could have at least done something for them.
Okay. And if Pin doesn't make it, are you thinking about coming back as someone from the Kronos or someone from the mercenary ship this time?
My instincts would say someone from the Kronos, because at the very least, I would have a connection to, what's Jasmine's character's name?
Clayton.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I going to engineer Pin's death? Probably not, but...
Yeah, so these are rather short because we went over in Act 1 into Act 2 a little bit. So Act 2 was kind of condensed. But is there anything else that you would like to discuss about Act 2 or Act 3 or even Act 1?
That I can think of offhand?
Yeah.
The hard part for me is going to be honest, not metagaming in terms of, say, Wilson. Because, to my knowledge, Pin has no idea who Wilson is.
Very true. Yep.
Where, on the other hand, I keep wanting to call her Allegra. Davis did, and she did not trust him.
Okay.
So I'm having to rein in that instinct.
I mean, he does look like a corporate muckety muck. So, you can
Let me
play
put it
that
this way.
however you want for Pin.
That's fair. Davis didn't trust him because, as far as Davis was concerned, everybody was supposed to wake up at the same time. That was how it was programmed. The fact that he woke up early confuses her.
Oh, that's
And it's
fair.
like, okay, why did he wake up early? How did he wake up early? And why did he not wake up anyone else?
Nice. Okay.
That was the main red flag for Davis.
All right. Cool.
And then actually, I'm not going to say that on the recording.
Yes, you listened to the Act 1 and Act 2 interviews, or at least the first 5 minutes of it.
The first 5 minutes, yes, that's when I'm cut off. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Spoilers!
Yup.
Okay.
I'm just going to say I was right. I freaking called it. But yeah, as far as Pin goes, he has I don't remember if I'm playing them as a he or a she. They have no idea.
I guess one last question. Your rival is Bane. He is the pilot that is over on your other ship that you guys just barrel rolled away from.
Which, hilariously enough, I don't recall actually dealing with him.
You haven't. He stayed behind.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. That's good.
Yeah, no, he stayed behind. Yeah, what are you thinking about him getting the nice long stick of not being on this roller coaster?
Resisting the obvious pun, I'm just gonna say that he's a lucky little SOB.
Very cool. All right. Again, these interviews were pretty simple. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. So today I'm sitting here with Jasmine, who is currently playing Clayton, the company agent that was on the... I don't even know what ship you were on. I'm gonna try that again.
USCSS Cronus.
Good job. You know what? We're just gonna keep that because that's how I'm feeling today. So, how are you feeling about Act 2? You have someone who's trying to get you to fill out paperwork to become Wayland Yutani. You have gotten your sample and have made it to your EEV. And then all shit broke loose. All of a sudden the ship started tumbling. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I might evacuate soon if it doesn't look like it's gonna get okay.
So you're just gonna like time it perfectly so that you don't hit the other two ships that are next to you guys.
I'll try.
And just take off.
Yeah.
When you get back to Wayland Yutani, what are you going to tell them about the other company agent aboard?
Absolutely nothing.
He was never there.
He was never there. They can figure that out later. I just gotta finish out my contract, and then we can negotiate a new contract for Wayland Yutani.
Nice. How do you feel about the ship being boarded by this mercenary group and trying to take everything?
I don't like it. If they want this ship, I have what I need. They can have what's left. And all the monsters on it.
Cool. So if Clayton decides to jettison and leave come the next session, are you thinking about taking up a NPC from the boarding party or from the Kronos?
Maybe the boarding party, I suppose.
Okay.
If it comes to that.
Cool. What are you thinking about Cam, who has now left and gotten over to their old ship, the Montero, to get that ship up and running so that everyone can escape through that ship? He's escaped death 100 times at this point.
Ideally, that is the better plan, to use their ship to escape. So I would like to hope we can get that working without bringing any passengers with us.
Okay. Very cool. What are you seeing going into Act 3 at this point? What are your goals? What are you hoping for?
Just trying to get off the ship by any means necessary.
Okay.
This has been the worst work experience of my life, and I'm ready for it to be over.
Fair. But is Jasmine having a good time playing?
Yeah, Jasmine's having a great time playing.
Awesome. All right. I think the interviews are going to be pretty short this time. You guys did a lot in Act 1 and kind of went over into Act 2 a little bit before we got to those. So, yeah, I think that's it for this interview. Anything else you'd like to add to this?
No, I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row and get off this ship and get to a different job that's not anything to do with these creatures.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content that you just saw, consider joining one of our games at startplaying.gaming/rollwithusDMs.